Hey, welcome back to the Game Changer Performance Podcast. So excited that you're here for another episode. You're probably listening to this towards the beginning of 2024. And so we just want to say Happy New Year. Man, I hope your New Year's off to a good start. And I think today's conversation will help you wherever you are, not only kick off the new year right, but also just have a great year. And we're going to be talking about leadership and personal development and growth. And I'm going to be joined here by a friend of mine, Nash, Nash, I'm sorry, brother, you got to help me pronounce the last name.
It is Mah-who-peh-tae.
Hey, I'm going to let you say it.
It rolls off.
Hey, like, that's just a little taste of my brother here, and excited to just spend some time with him. He works at a local organization, one of the best companies, I think, in our city, QLI, and runs the division that oversees a lot of their services for their clients. And so, Nash, excited to have you here, excited to share your story. Thanks for hanging out on this, as we were just talking about, snowy day here in Omaha, Nebraska.
It is a nice snowy day, and we'll make it beautiful. I don't know. I don't know about what's going on out there right now because I saw the flurries and I don't have any windows right now. But I know when I get out of here, it's going to be glorious.
Everything's getting shut down. School's been canceled. I'm staring out the window and I'm seeing snow coming down right now. But hey, we're in a warm spot. We're being able to see each other, have this conversation right now. And I'm excited to jump into your story because, we got together not too long ago and we've known each other for a little while, spent a lot of time together, but really hearing your story just, I think, re-inspired me, reminded me of just why I'm constantly drawn to you when I'm around you. Just talk a little bit about where you're from, your upbringing, and how you got to Omaha.
Thank you. I actually like that we started off in prayer, because faith is something that has been integral in my upbringing. I'm a pastor's son, pastor farmer, a cross between those two. Yep. And so prayer was always big growing up. I'm from Zimbabwe. I came to the United States in 2000, and Omaha was the place that I landed. It was one of those things. I was coming here for school. I had no intentions of staying around here. I was planning on just doing environmental sciences, going back to the motherland and giving back my talents back there.
Yep.
And so when I showed up over here, April 18th was the independence of Zimbabwe. Okay. And so it was my independence of being a person who my parents were sending out to the world. My dad was still alive then. He passed away a couple of years later. A great man, I'd like to say, and taught me a lot of things in life. My mom is the wise one, I say, but my dad taught me a lot of things in life, and so when I got here, I was just looking for a job, something that I could go to school in the morning, and work in the evening. And I found this place called QLI. And there's something about it that was so magnetic that kept me over here 23 years later and counting. Wow. And I'm not going anywhere. As long as I'm in the States, I'm going to be hanging out over here. So great place, great people, great culture, people that believed in me and saw more in myself than I did and had me change my path when it comes to, instead of environmental sciences, just sticking around in the healthcare world and changing lives in many, many ways. Wow. Not only the residents, the clients that we serve over here with traumatic brain injuries, spinal cord injuries, chronic pain, but also team members. This mission is very, very critical and important, and it's something that is transformative in many ways. So I've been transformed in many ways over here.
Man.
So that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, I can't imagine coming over here, around college timeframes from Zimbabwe and just the cultural, culture shock, kind of the shift in experiences, but you land at QLI. And for those who don't know, just tell us, what is QLI? What does QLI do? You kind of mentioned a few things, but then talk a little bit about the culture at QLI, because I rave on QLI all the time. When I talk about organizations and leadership and just values-based leadership, I've seen very few organizations do it as well as QLI. And so just give people an understanding of who QLI is. Maybe they've never heard of QLI before, but then also just talk about that culture that you stepped into.
No, so QLI is a nonprofit. So that's something that I think we and Abide have in common together. And so it's a nonprofit, and we are meeting people at the most vulnerable times of their lives. You know, you have somebody who has had a brain injury, you know, life altering, spinal cord injury. You know, they're living with chronic pain over a course of time, and we are working with them to gain trust with them, but to also show them that even though they don't believe in themselves at some point, you know, because your life has changed in many, many ways. You were this maybe professional athlete, maybe you were a business person, maybe you were a priest, a parent, something that you had as your identity, and life changes immediately. And we have to meet you at that point of vulnerability and show you that there is life after injury, you know, and believe in you so that you also believe in yourself to say, I can get back to life. It might be different, but I still have hope because of the way that I see myself in the world, and I start transforming the way that I believe and I can act, you know. So we also do a lot of think of it as an educational model where somebody we call it neuroplasticity, you know, the brain's ability to rewire networks. And so we have this program that is different from any other in the nation, because we're getting people from all over the states. We've served about 44 states, and that people come from a few countries because of the uniqueness of our program. And the uniqueness of the program is coupled with the culture, like you were saying, people who are driven to make an impact by helping people learn and facilitate neuroplasticity and get people back to life. So lots of amazing things happening over here.
Wow. I mean, I'm probably the least qualified to talk about neuroplasticity, but I do remember listening to Dr. Snell, who's a part of your team there at QLI, and it was at an event that we were both a part of called the Gratitude Summit, and was talking about how, you know, the neuroplasticity, this part of our brain, can really be formed and reformed through, you know, thinking and habits. And it, you know, we're not a product of just, you know, what we've experienced. We can actually become something. We can form new thought patterns and behaviors. And so I love just your approach, your model. You said it's a teaching model. Is that what you called it?
Yeah, we facilitate neuroplasticity. So we're teaching people through repetitions, through identifying interferences to say, okay, this is where you're trying to get. Let's figure out what those interferences are, removing those interferences, and helping people attain what it is that they're trying to get to. You know, and sometimes it might be physical, sometimes it's emotional, and that even worse. I mean, we're always a constant part of learning, you know, as human beings, and so whatever we do often, and we become, you know, and so we do that. We are in that place of putting a lot of reps in a unique way by understanding the brain and figuring out how to help somebody shape the life that they're working towards.
Which is so powerful because, like you said, you're meeting people when they're typically at the lowest points of their life, most vulnerable, have had some traumatic experiences, whether it's injuries to the brain, other aspects of the body, and you're helping them still pursue their potential post whatever experience that they've had. And these same things that you're talking about, I mean, really apply to every single one of us. What we do consistently is ultimately who we become, the thoughts that we think, the habits that we create, the lifestyle. And so you wrote a book, and it's called Dreamcatcher. And based on, you know, what I took from just the book and what you wrote is based on your experiences as QLI, or maybe I should say as part of your experiences at QLI, you really have this passion to help people reach their potential. And through some of even the brain work and science work, neuroplasticity, understanding. You write a book to help people in every walk of life reach their potential. Talk about how your experiences got you to a place where you wanted to write a book to help more people really pursue their potential.
So before I get to that point, I'm gonna share a little bit about my journey at KOLI. When I started over here, I was direct care team member, so entry level. And I think something that our CEO says, is help people when they show up. Each person should believe. This is what Patricia Curran says. Should believe that they could be the next CEO.
Wow.
So how do you instill that much belief in a person? Because these are the same people that are going to be taking care of the individuals that we have over here and trying to change their lives. And so with that, that's how I was treated from day one. That's how each and every one of us as leaders are supposed to look at another person and say, I believe in your fullest potential, whatever it is that you want to see and be. And sometimes you don't even know what you want to become. But you know that you aspire for greatness and more. And so Dreamcatcher was born at KOLI. And when I say born here, I'm talking about everything that I learned here. Most of the things I learned here when it comes to development of humans, because it was something that was done for me. And through that development and coming to become now I'm the vice president of residential services at KOLI, which in a nutshell just means I serve other individuals and help them become better. And so the development of Dreamcatcher was more a tool and a toolkit to just say, okay, if you want succession planning in an organization, you have to work yourself out of a job. And if you want to thrive to be better, you have to leave that spot that you're in. But you also have to empower other individuals to become where you are, so it's about investing in each other. From day one. That's something that I had within myself, and I've been able to maybe share that gift with other individuals as well, and that grace with other individuals as well. So developing talent for succession planning is something that from any leader we have at KOLI, we're constantly saying, and people ask me, hey, how do I grow? It's like, well, how are you working yourself out of a job? Because working yourself out of a job is by investing in the person right there with you. So that's part of Dreamcatcher on that piece. One of the things that I've learned, is some people don't see their fullest potential, and so I read a quote somewhere that said, a dream is not what you wake up from. A dream is something that wakes you up, and so having something that that creates that fire within is what we try and show each person around here. Because some people don't know how to dream big. Sometimes people are like, I'm just from Omaha. I'm just from this little area. I've never been out of this state. And it's a matter of, let's show you this world that's out there that is possible. Show you the possibilities and help them then thrive to become, somebody who's gotten an injury is like, well, I used to be this. Right. I used to be this and now I can't. But we're like, whoa. Let's show you the world and show you how you can still contribute to the things that you find passionate. What wakes you up? What gets you out of bed? And that's the same things that we do, whether it's with a resident, with a family member, with our own team members. And we teach this so that other people can do that in their own communities and their own social circles as well.
Wow. Bro, I love that. Like, I love even how you went back and talked about your own experience and how what you experience, A, was a value of the organization, but B, is what now you're passing on to the next generation of leaders. And just the thought and idea, which your CEO, Patricia Carnes, I think she's one of the best leaders, again, around. And I've had the opportunity to just learn from her and be around her a little bit. But for her to say what she said to you, treat everyone like they're the next CEO.
Yep.
Treat everyone like they can become the next CEO. I love that just word picture. And I think about that. What would the world look like if we treated everybody like they could be the next CEO? And what if, similar to what happened to you, we invested in them as if they could be the next CEO? Because what I hear you saying is there's a culture of empowerment. Not that I'm holding on to my job or afraid I'm going to lose my job, but I'm trying to work myself out of a job because I know there's always more opportunities. And the more people I can empower, the more our organization can grow, which means the more impact we can ultimately have. And
Yeah, the world has this crazy thing, maybe not the world, but some aspects of what I've seen is,
yep,
you hear this dog eat dog world or whatever it is.
yep.
The world is big enough for all of us. There's enough grace for each of us to get where we're trying to get in life, and so that's a piece of it. When you invest in other people, you actually gain more out of that. The more I've been able to work to say, okay, and that's what a leader is, right? It's not about you. And so when I look at our mission at QLI, or when I look at, Better Together, that whole mantra of Better Together is amazing. That's the part of, when Abide is talking about that, it's a matter of, it's not about me, it's about you. And I'm wearing this shirt today, coincidence, it's Ubuntu, and it's I am because we are. It's an African mantra and ethos, and that's the part of how do we all become. We need to become more of a collective society.
Yes.
And something that I see day in, day out, that has even drawn me to Abide's mission is how you guys live that. That whole community is going to shape not only North Omaha, but the state and nations in many ways. Because the people that will come out of that area that you guys serve will continue to become amazing in the world. That's the same thing we see at QLI. We have lots of students coming over here, and what we tell them is, you might not have this idea of working at QLI in the future because you're going in to become a neurologist, and we have so many neurologists at QLI. But whatever you end up doing and wherever you end up impacting, remember it's about that other person. So love the way that our missions are kind of married together in that way. And that's what draws me to what you guys do day in, day out.
Yeah, and vice versa. And I think about your story. My story is probably similar in the sense of, and mine directly with my father, who started our nonprofit organization, but I'm in the position I'm in because he believed in me. And then he empowered me even when I wasn't ready or I didn't think I was ready, gave me resources and encouraged me and was there cheering me on, and is still in the same position. And so we are where we are because of the people that have helped us get here and the community that we're surrounded by and encouraged by. And it's powerful when you see an entire organization that embodies that. And I know QLI has won like best workplace to work like year. And this is what I heard. I don't know if this is a rumor, but you guys had to like basically stop putting your name in the hat because you guys kept winning every year. Is that true? That's what I heard, man.
The rumor is true. We won best. The rumor is true, but then again, it's not about those accolades, right?
Yeah.
I think part of what we did was enter to see what the litmus was, to say what are our team members saying about what we have going on, and then all of a sudden it's like you guys won best place to work. It was more of a survey tool that was ran by the Chamber of Commerce. And it's a matter of, well, let's see where we gauge up and see what we can do to continue to improve. And we saw things that we continue to improve. And that's something that's innate towards what we have at QLI, is we have this never quite satisfied mindset, where it's a matter of, okay, we didn't read the scoreboard about, okay, we won best place to work. We said, we scored low in these areas. Let's double down and figure out how we continue to improve. And I think that's what led to us continuing to get better and better every time that we entered, to the point that they said, you know what, we'll give you this Lifetime Achievement Award. Stay out of this. Let other people have a chance.
Just stay out of this. Hey, that's powerful to have a Lifetime Achievement Award as an organization. I mean, again, it speaks volumes to the type of team, the culture, the leadership there. I want to go back to what you were talking about, the whole idea of Dreamcatcher and helping people discover or rediscover your dreams, because I just think that's so powerful. And I would love for you to, I don't know if you have like either a real life example of what that has looked like for you guys, and somebody that you've worked with, but talk about just that process, maybe in a little more detail. Maybe even using an example with somebody that you've worked with.
So the idea of Dreamcatcher as a tool for growth and succession planning, there's certain aspects of it when it comes to interferences sometimes that prevent us from becoming better. And one of the things is, how do you become true to oneself? There's this idea sometimes of fake it till you make it.
Right.
Well, what I've learned in life is be authentic, be genuine, and face it until you make it. So instead of faking things, how do you face it until you make it? That. Because through that authenticity, you end up inviting other people to show you and helping you diagnose what's really going wrong. Imagine going to the doctor and saying, well, doc, I've got this pain, but I think it's coming from my left side, but it's actually coming from your right side. You're going to get a wrong diagnosis. So the part of growth has got to do with diagnosis, and you can't diagnose yourself sometimes, but be genuine with people, be honest with people, and share that. So it's about tools that help you continue to grow. The other aspect that I've seen when it comes to growth and development has been a matter of, who do you surround yourself with? We call it a personal board of advisors. Every successful organization has a board of directors and advisors, and they're there to help that organization be successful. And so take a look around and see what you have if you're trying to grow. And look at the people that you have. Will they increase you or will they decrease you? It applies to work. It applies to businesses. It applies to our personal lives. My son is 15 years old, and sometimes I ask him, look at the friends that you have. Look at the goals that you have. Are those people going to help you become a better version of yourself, or are they going to hold you back? So that's another tool that we end up having. I think personally, one of the things that I also have put in there is a matter of being curious. ABC, always be curious. Always be learning. You can only take out of your mind and out of your brain what you've deposited. So whether it's and when people are saying, learning, the idea of learning, there's this idea of, okay, you go and then you get didactic, sit in front of a classroom. You can teach yourself. People have these cell phones in their pockets, but when you're spending so much time on social media, dumping stuff in your mind, that's not really helping you grow. That is not going to help you become a better version of yourself. So how are you exercising curiosity? How are you learning? That's another value that we have at QLI as one of learning. So there's so many tools out there, but these are the core things that I teach and like to promote with individuals, because it's not just about how you apply this in your personal life, but also at work. It's as a parent, I feel like it's also very, very apparent to say, okay, what am I putting in front of people? And I always say this: if there's something that's only true in a certain area, then it's false. Truth is truth. Truth is truth, whether it's at work, at business, in your personal life. And these are core things that I feel like have been helpful for a lot of people that I've worked with at QLI and other places as well.
Those are good, bro. I was gonna say, I love all those. And don't fake it till you make it. Face it till you make it. Face the reality of where you are, but use it as a starting point to know actually what you need to do to get to where you want to be. And and then you talk about the kind of the advisory board, the board of directors in your life. Show me your 5 friends, I'll show you your future. Who is in your circle? I mean, the relationships we have are a powerful picture of where we're going, which once you get it figured out with your 15-year-old, let me know so I can, apply that to my young boys that are coming up.
I'll tell you something. I don't know. I think your parents have more of it. My parents had 6 kids. You guys are 15 deep.
We got a lot to learn.
But I think they've been an example of what it takes to raise people, and believe in people and show them the right way and instruct them the right way and help them get down a certain path. Because I've met a lot of your people, or some of your people, and you can tell that through there's so many things that I see with people who try little things but you have to be intentional. Intentionality is key. And so what are you intentional about as you're trying to figure out what life is like? And I think some of the things that we do, like I said earlier, we're talking about learning. These are all things that can be learned. The more you put yourself into certain things, the more you have less self-limiting beliefs, the more you think positive, the more you're able to get to the point of forgiveness, because sometimes carrying hurts.
Yeah.
is a huge interference for you to grow. It's amazing what comes out when we just figure out, okay, how do I understand where I'm trying to get? What are the gaps that are in getting there? And then how do I close those gaps? And that's what we're doing. What we're doing is closing gaps for people to be more successful.
Yep. Absolutely. I love that. And I think parenting, similar to the relationships in our lives, a lot of times it's more caught than taught. And so just by being in proximity to each other, it's not always about what I'm teaching and sharing. And it's about just being around people who embody the type of person that I want to become. And that's where culture matters within an organization. Culture is that holistic overall experience you're having with a group of people. It's what they're saying, what they're not saying. It's how they're acting. It's how they're treating people. It's the values that they're expressing. And so when you're around those types of people, it causes you want to get better. And I mean, you're one of those people, man. When I'm with you, I'm like, let's go change the world together. And you're always like, well, let's go, let's do something. Let's not just talk about it, man. Let's be about it. You're probably like,
I feel it, man.
Brother.
The feeling is mutual, man. The feeling is mutual, and I get the same energy from the 450 people that work at QLI, man. It's the same thing. You know, everyone that comes in over here, and that's the thing about it, right? We're leaders. We're fallible. We're human. You know, we're not without sin, and I think that's a piece of it. Is we are mission oriented. You know, because guess what? When I am short of what I'm supposed to be, you know, and where I fall and fail as a human, people will always be mission oriented. And I think that's a part of it is
good.
I always tell people, attach yourself to the mission. Don't attach yourself to humans. Because I think that's important as we navigate whatever we're looking at navigating. And QLI's mission is critical. It's important, just like Abide's mission. And what is your mission as a human being is another thing, you know? So what is your mission as a human being? Because when you fail and when you fall and you're trying to get up, if you're mission oriented and focused, you will find success. Definitely will find success. So find your mission as a human, as you're working in an organization. Find organizations that align with your mission. And I can tell you, QLI, 100%. Abide, 100%. Those are some amazing missions that are out there that are transforming people's lives, communities, and pretty much nations. I know that.
Yeah. Well, I love how you talked organizational, but you also said personally, find your mission. And I think even this time of the year, the first part of this year, New Year's here, I think is a great time for people to find their mission, be reminded of their mission, but also get that vision, get that picture of the future, that dream. If you're sitting down with somebody and you're kind of taking them through your process, the Dreamcatcher process of kind of putting a plan together, give us some advice, some wisdom on getting that vision for the future, and then anything on even kind of discovering or rediscovering our mission or some sort of mission statement or purpose.
Again, you know, that's something that if I'm working with an individual, it's understanding, you know, where they are and understanding their story, you know. So get somebody who you can be honest with and share where you are in life, and then also get to a point where you can be in a undisturbed atmosphere where you can really think about, as I'm envisioning life as I want it to be, you know. And this is where curiosity comes in, right? You can only envision what you know. So sometimes expand your horizons, connect with people who can help you dream even bigger, and then think about it and look around and say, okay, where is it that I'm trying to get to? You know, and write a compelling vision for yourself, you know, because we can only see as far as the mind can see, you know, and that's where we're going to go. That's where we're going to go. And then we'll be able to see further, you know. So don't try and have the perfect, but just have a compelling vision, something, again, that's going to wake you up and say, this is worth going towards, you know, and then figure out how do you surround yourself with people that are going to push you, you know. So sometimes the idea of decreeing certain words and saying it with other individuals is very powerful, because now you have accountability partners in that. So sharing it with individuals is powerful, because guess what? Whatever your goal is, if I'm not living by those, by that vision and where I'm trying to go, and I have a group of people, an army of people behind me, that when I'm not feeling like I'm getting there, I'll get a push. I'll get somebody to say, okay, you said these words and this is where you're trying to get to. Let's go. Have a plan for times when they're not going so well, and actually say, when I'm not doing well, this is how I'm going to try and overcome that. How do you, one of the things that I've seen that's challenging for individuals is the idea of tough times, right?
Yeah.
Turmoil, and I think you have to figure out what it is that you're going to get support in those times, whether it's a spiritual group, whether it's a friend group, but something that's healthy that will help you lift up and also say, I'm struggling right now, because on the counter of that, you also have to have a habit, because everything is about habit. You have to repeat and figure out how to do this the right way every single time. You have to look at yourself. My father always used to say, at the end of the day, if you can look in the mirror and you can say, I did my very best today, the best I could do today. You're not gonna be 100% every single time, but the best I can do today. And you can honestly, genuinely say, because you're not faking it, you're being truthful. I did my best today. And if you did your best that day, then you should be proud of yourself. If you felt like you fell short, don't have shame, but use that as fuel to go in the next day and do better.
That's good.
So I think, yeah.
I love that. A vision that's compelling. I don't have to get up, but it wakes me up in the morning. It's something that motivates me. There's a deeper meaning
to why.
So it's the why. Yeah, there's that deeper meaning for the purpose that I'm called to express and to live out. And then I love how you attach that to habits, those things that we do on a consistent basis. And again, I know you talk about this in your book, Dreamcatcher, and you connect vision and goals and challenges and habits and how all those things work together to ultimately help individuals reach their full God-given potential. Man, I love, like I said before, we could spend hours talking and, I could keep asking questions, but I love just your story. I love how God is using you in 23 plus years ago when you came over here from Zimbabwe. You didn't know where you were going, what you were doing, but he knew, and he had a plan, and the culture, the organization, the family that you've built, since you've been here, writing books, encouraging people. Every time I'm around you, I can tell that it's not about you, and that you see people as potential CEOs, and you're constantly finding ways to call people higher. So I just want to commend you on living what you talk about, living out your values. And I know this, bro, it is just the beginning. I really feel like you are just getting started, and I can't wait to see where you end up and continue to see what God does in and through your life.
Well, I can say I've been blessed. And I'm looking forward to more. I think when it comes to just life and everything, you pour into me, and I wish I can pour into you, as well, a fraction of the way that you've changed my life in many ways without even knowing that, So I think we shall sustain this, because that's one of the important things is how do we sustain what we start, and looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, if people want to connect with you, follow you, where's the best place to connect with you? If they want to buy the book, where can they buy the book?
I will get them the book because my publisher sells them at a much higher price. So I'll get them a book. And I'm very honest. My phone number is 402-880-7575. You can shoot me a text. You can email me at Mah-who-peh-tae at QLIOmaha.com. Come visit us if you're in Omaha, and we'll show you around. It's a great place to be, and it's great people to be around, doing some amazing work. So email me, text me, call me, whatever it is. We'll connect.
I love that. We'll try to have that email in the information so you can pull that out too. So my brother Nash, thank you, bro. Thanks for spending time. You definitely warmed up this cold day. Great way to start the new year, and I look forward to doing it again sometime.
It's an honor and a blessing to be here. One love, Josh.
Man, well, if you were listening through that whole episode, there were so many things that you could pull out, learn from, be encouraged from, inspired from. So thankful for my friend, and we'll see you next time on a Game Changer Performance Podcast.